Hello, this is the Harp Report. I'm going to show you a recreation of a video I made a year ago about Hurricane Irma and how President Trump was blackmailed to prevent damage to his Mar-a-Lago at Palm Beach, Florida. Here it is the morning of September 6, 2017, and they're predicting an absolutely devastating direct hit on Mar-a-Lago. And this was right before Trump met with Pelosi and Schumer to agree to a debt ceiling extension. So the morning of the 6th, we have everybody talking about superlatives. Strongest hurricane ever, direct hit, devastation, and this guy actually used the word buzzsaw, that it's going to travel right over Mar-a-Lago. Everybody was saying it. All the predictions were the same. And here's a lady who shows more than 40-foot waves hitting Mar-a-Lago. Just after, Trump agrees to the Democrat debt extension deal, the path moves to the west, and the next day it's away from Mar-a-Lago. So what would have happened if it had hit Palm Beach? You can see it's a barrier island. It's very, very low. Maybe, 20 feet above sea level. It's very, so here the red mark is Mar-a-Lago. You can see it's just completely exposed. If you had 175 mile an hour wind and 40-foot waves, it would be gone. So this is Donald Trump's personal cash cow. He only paid $10 million for Mar-a-Lago Resort in '85. And it is now a club with 500 paying members, and they each have to pay an initiation fee of $200,000, which was dropped to $100,000 before he became president. So if we just multiply, say, an average of $150,000 times 500 paying members, that's $75 million that goes into Trump's pocket. Plus there's a $14,000 annual due times 500 paying members. It's another $7 million per year. And he has a New Year's Eve party where 700 guests paid $1,000 per couple, so that's $350,000. So this is an incredible profit engine for Donald Trump, and why he would be willing to secretly compromise all of his campaign promises to preserve this club. So around noon, September 6, 2017, as Mar-a-Lago was in great jeopardy, Trump met with the Democratic leaders and suddenly caved to their offer without any negotiation whatsoever. That evening, the press released articles like this: Trump sides with Democrats in debt limit funding Harvey deal. Donald Trump, who casts himself as a master negotiator, took the first offer Democrats put on the table. Gee, I wonder why. Republicans left the Oval Office Wednesday stunned. Trump had quickly sided with the Democrats on a short-term debt ceiling increase, even overruling his own Treasury Secretary to concur with Chuck and Nancy. September 7th, 1 a.m., Trump bucks GOP leadership, backs Democratic deal on debt ceiling funding government. So here you can see after the deal was struck, Palm Beach had an only 19% chance of hurricane wind speed probabilities. In other words, no damage, just some high winds and heavy rain. So Trump dodged a bullet. And of course, since the deal between Trump and the Democrats was secret, people like Paul Ryan, the very same day before the deal was struck, had this to say.
I think that's a ridiculous idea. I hope that they don't mean that. Let's just think about this. We've got all this devastation in Texas. We've got another unprecedented hurricane about to hit Florida. And they want to play politics with the debt ceiling? And then they also want to threaten default on our debt? I think that's ridiculous and disgraceful that they want to play politics with the debt ceiling at this moment when we have fellow citizens in need.
Of course, little did Paul Ryan know that the citizen in need was Donald Trump. and his need was to preserve his cash cow, his Mar-a-Lago club. So this is how government really works, in my opinion. The best people can get elected to the high offices, but once they are shown the film taken at the grassy knoll, then they know their place. This also, I'm suggesting there's a linkage between these Democrats, quote Democrats, who are actually Bolshevik communists, and the Wall Street mega banks, and a further linkage to the Navy admirals who run these top secret programs. So this is how this kind of corruption can continue and go on. So my personal message, if Donald Trump ever watches this video, is these classified weather weapons are going to become global, and we need to expose these weapons. You yourself, sir, have been potentially extorted and blackmailed by them. You need to shut them all down. You need to pull a John F. Kennedy for all of us before the world is literally killed by blowing holes in the ozone layer thousands of times a day by every country that can afford $100,000 to build one. I hope this was a helpful video. Thank you very much for your support and your attention.